This tip could save your marriage.
So there's good things about this and bad things about it. I'm going to address both of them. Watch this.
The tip is, if your partner cannot immediately change something that they just did or are doing currently, do not make a comment about it in the moment.
Great suggestion. There's a caveat though. You have to be able to understand and have the perspective so that it doesn't boil up and you get all aggravated and angry about it. There's a balance to that. That's called wisdom. Watch.
For example, say your partner gets home from Costco and you see them walking in with 10 things that were not on the list. And you pick one up off the counter and say, seriously, you decided to buy this?
The negativity of that thought, you should be, oh, I'm happy that they got this. That's the thing. Have gratitude for whatever it is. If you immediately get angry and frustrated and have a fear response because, oh, now we're not going to be able to hit our money goals and that's what it's going to be a problem, you got to manage that mentally, psychologically, and yourself.
It's a busy Saturday. They can't run back to Costco and return it right now. And so making that comment in the moment is not helpful. Or you walk into the room and you see that they've been on their phone for an hour and you say, seriously, you just spent an hour on your phone? Guess what? The hour is gone, right? What's done is done. Or you go to an event and you have to meet each other there and they walk in the room and you say, you chose to wear that? They can't go home and change right now. You're already there.
So on the spending an hour on the phone, the best suggestion is write it down so that way you don't have to hold it in your mind. If you're holding it in your mind and waiting until later and you're going to be thinking about it, you write it down and then just have that list there that you can come back to. You'll actually be surprised when you come back to that list. Wow, there's not as much on that list as I thought. It's just a few things and I can simply isolate, have a few minute conversation, work through it with them instead of, oh, there's another one. And then you're going to hold it inside of you and be boiling it and thinking about it over and over again. You don't want to do that. So a system and a tool that you can use for doing this is write it down. And then I agree. Yes, come back to it at the right time. Structure your life properly.
Already there. So I'm not saying that these things aren't important. You should bring them up if they're causing issues, if they're bothering you, but you should not bring them up in the moment of stress because all that's going to do is make your partner feel like you're choosing to see the negative. You always have a comment. You're not appreciating the good things they are doing. But if you wait, if you let the day move on, let it go through its pace, and then later you say, hey, I've been stressed about the budget and I noticed you bought a lot of extra things at Costco yesterday. Can we talk about it?
I wouldn't even necessarily bring it up like that. The best thing to do about finances is you have a monthly or preferably a weekly budgeting meeting at a certain time. And you bring the things that are issues at that meeting and you leave the things that are issues at that meeting. And in that, you talk about what behaviors and decisions need to change because just the fact that they bought something there's a cause to that. And there also needs to be a habitual change and a habitual type of mental energy and decision making that people always suffer from decision fatigue and things like that. So you have to wisely plan and try and identify where was that decision made? When do I need to put energy into resisting or modifying a behavior that leads to that particular decision? Because like, for example, if you put sugar in my house at 10 p.m. and it's sitting in a bag on the counter, I'm much more likely to put a spoon of it in my mouth as opposed to, you know what? I know I'm weak and I know I'm also too lazy to drive out and buy sugar. So if there's no sugar in the house and there's only healthy options, then great. I'll pick a water. I know that the water satisfies whatever that I'm going to, feel like I'm hungry. It fills my stomach a little bit, makes me feel less hungry. I'm able to avoid the drinking or eating of something that's not good for me. So I will substitute with that bottle of water. I'll meet my weight goals. It's little tweaks like that. And you have to be able to identify that in not at the time where your emotional spike is going to happen. Because if you react and respond during that emotional spike, that's not good. If you're going to mention it, remember always praise in public and criticize in private. So take them aside, have everything pause, and have a conversation calmly about it. But she's right about one thing. Always give appreciation first. If you start with something that you appreciate, that's good. It has to be genuine, has to be honest. This is the Lawyer Dana Show.